Welcome to your Monday, March 2nd Power Hour meeting with Katelyn, Carly, and Clare Fulton. We made it to March. I can't believe it.
No. What happened in February?
I think we're getting old. So the months are just flying.
Just us?
We decided to wear our yellow jackets today.
They're gold.
Sorry, gold. What kind of Pantone gold would you call this?
Mine's like a mustard gold.
So we think Katelyn's from the 70s, 80s. And we think I'm the 90s, 2000s, before we got rid of them.
Yeah. This is the original?
This one's
you
more
can tell
fitted.
with the brown.
Yeah, it's more fitted to, like, the style is even different. This is more boxy.
So we're wearing
them
because it's C21 Canada's 50th anniversary this month, which is, we're going to conference next week for their 50th anniversary. So we thought we'd celebrate with you guys today.
It's also our 50th anniversary soon.
I think we're 49? 48?
Oh, it was 77s. We're 49s.
Yeah, so we're close.
Still 49 years.
It's exciting.
So we doing meetings next week?
It's up to you. We're going to be going.
You.
Do you want to? It's up to you and you, Sandy.
Maybe Nelson,
you around this?
guest speaker?
You around USAN next week?
Do you want to run something where you want to have a guest speaker? Do we have anyone that wants to sit with Claire?
I'm looking at Nelson.
Sandy want to stay back? Yeah. Jenny wants to? Sandeep wants to? No?
Would you like to be the guest speaker?
We can also take a break if you want
Tadman.
to.
Or Jerry Tadman.
Yeah, bring one of your buddies.
You can't think about this. These are buddies?
Or it might be your time to shine.
Yeah, lots of buddies.
Okay, I know Morale would do a meeting.
We'll figure it out.
She's quiet now, but that's right. Anybody can.
I think you need a special guest up here.
Yeah, so we'll be gone.
I'll bring Nelson.
Yeah.
There he is.
That's your payback for not going to conference. You're not going to go to conference. You have to run the meeting. So otherwise, you got to come to Vancouver. Come to Vancouver. You're fucking your flush done.
I'll be. I think everybody should have the experience of doing at least once.
I think so too.
Because it's funny when you talk because nobody responds, so you're talking to yourself the whole time.
Thank God we have the three of us here.
So you have to get used to that, right? So.
Yeah, that's true. Different than what we do.
I will say the Durham office, I don't know if they're watching at Salem right now.
Say hello, Durham office. If you're
the Durham office is pretty collaborative. I will say they're very chatty over there.
That's good.
Start over a little more calm.
Well, it's because it's not on video. Everybody knows they're on
True.
video, so they're not gonna say something that's gonna be recorded.
They were on a webinar, but it was just me.
But that's fine. Yeah.
True.
Well, yeah, Salem office is fully operational now. 15 Harwood is officially closed. So sad. 20 years there. I don't miss it though. I went there on Saturday and couldn't find parking. So like on a regular Saturday afternoon, and I still couldn't find parking. Yeah. So that was part of the reason why we were looking for a new space, just to give you more inspiration and more places to park and, you know, be able to go outside and work. Yeah. 20 years we were there. Yeah, I mean, not super excited about the special massage place next door either, but the area is changing very quickly, so we went up north. So that's good.
Which has been nice. So you guys are welcome to go there.
Yes, and I guess I will say now too, without timelines, Don Mills, we are going to also transition out in the next coming months as well. So forever that impacts as well. Those people might be able to come to Kennedy and join us, but we'll be working on that project next.
We are simplifying.
Yes.
Got lots of projects. You got that, and you got your FINTRAC project.
FINTRAC project, yeah. So we finally got our final results. It took them 2 months. Like I had my exit interview last week, but I finally got like the actual report of everything, and it looks even more intense than when they put it on paper. So I have 30 days to give them our action plan of what we're gonna do. So first things first, I will be updating our policies and procedures. There's some things that I missed, like the new Iran directive that just came out last year. Claire's got it in front of him tier 2. Like they even told us every single file that they pulled, which client name was missing, which postal code was missing, which occupation. Like they went very, very detailed, right? So I'll be keeping a close eye on your FINTRAC form.
So here's what we had to do with FINTRAC there, just to kind of just so you know here. So we read last week or the week before about another C21 broker that got fined $150,000 for making a mistake on their FINTRAC, right? You guys aware of that? So it's actually a very, very serious thing on that. So we've actually had to bring on more staff and more people and more stuff to do the FINTRAC. So we're going to talk about something else later on, but this all connects what's going on here, what the government's doing.
Yeah.
Let me just I always get this. Agents will say to me, what do they care? What's the matter? Or can I just take a photo? Can I do this? And these guys are brutal.
They're relentless. Yeah.
They have no concept about private businesses and when profitability or costs or expenses. More than one occasion, we said to, like, we got to do this, got to do that, and we're getting a RICO audit at the same time. And they said, well, just hire somebody else. I mean, it's just like, these are government workers. Just hire somebody, right?
Yeah, just put a salaried
Just
position.
what you want to do. But these are the things that they're picking on, right? Receipt of funds. When you guys do a receipt of funds, I've mentioned this before. We got the whole full training program, right?
Yeah, we're actually going to do a training on FINTRAC app
That's on Wednesday.
on Wednesday. So that will teach you how to do the forms in the app. It's going to happen Wednesday.
Wednesday at 11, we have that
So
training.
it is mandatory, by the way. If you can't come to the session, we'll have the recording available, but you all have to watch it.
Yeah. The other company that we're talking about there, they actually made the FINTRAC mandatory for all their agents.
Yeah.
I know the cloud companies, about all these cloud companies out there, it's mandatory, all the FINTRAC, so it's not an option. So I hate the government, so I don't necessarily want to make me mandatory, but at the same time, also don't want to get $150 fine. So we're gonna do some training next week. But just here's the things they're looking at: receipt of funds. If you represent the buyer, you have to fill out the receipt of funds. The receipt of funds says where the money come from, and what agents will do. Let's say, well, here's a photocopy of the bank draft. Anybody see it on there? We've talked about this before. What does the bank draft tell us? All it says is payable to Percy Fulton and $1,000. That's all it says. So the question they ask is, where'd the money come from? Which bank account? Not like where'd that money come from? That's what they want to know. So here we have.
Those are missing account numbers.
Yeah. Okay. So here we go here. So we've got 1, 2, 3. We want to give them what? 50 deals or so. They had 14 transactions, and we got written up on it, and we got called on it that did not have the account number where the money came from. So they want that, right?
And then you'll say, "Well, my client doesn't want to because they're scared." And you have to say that.
So we're talking with on Tuesday how to overcome that. But right now they want bank for that.
Yep.
So if you haven't got bank account, we'll talk about that next week, right? The name of the clients, believe it or not, the full name of the account holder was missing in some cases.
Postal codes.
Account numbers.
That's for just receipt of funds. Yeah.
There's a lot of missing postal codes.
Then we have the what's this one here?
FINTRAC forms.
The FINTRAC form itself. So it says here that the client's name on the FINTRAC is not the same as the guy that bought the property.
Interesting.
I don't know how that happened.
That might have been a case where
Maybe
we had some files that had been fallen through, so we had given FINTRAC for the fallen through, but not. So they might have didn't correct their notes too.
So what they asked us for? They asked us for firm deals that closed, and they asked us for deals that fell apart. So they mixed up, or we mixed up. Probably I mixed up. Somebody mixed up the deal that fell apart and the deal that went through. So they didn't match. So they're saying here they did not match. So okay, that explains it. Missing postal code. We haven't got a postal code on these deals. They wrote us up for that.
I wonder why.
How many times? 1, 2,
needed.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got 9 times whatever they're going to fine us for not having the postal code.
Seems low.
I'm telling you, this, and then I know we're all right brained here, understand that, but it's very for
of the client.
The client themselves.
Where they live.
The other one was what's this one do? Missing content, missing non-compliant. Hey, the guy wrote that this person here works for Continental Granite.
Seems pretty specific. It's pretty close. But
what do they do at find out that? Are they a truck driver? Or are they accountant? Or are they the owner? Or are they what are they? All right. Truck owner, independent truck owner. That's not enough.
That's weird. That's kind of weird.
You're truck owner or you're truck driver?
Yeah.
And what company?
And what do you drive and blah, 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 right? So it's ridiculous. BMO, or what else? Client not identified. Individual, okay, this one here's a bad one. Have you guys ever sold a house and the deposit came from the parents?
or the deposit came from somebody else.
Yep.
So you have to ID that person, not the person that bought the property.
Or both.
I'm not telling rent here or anything special, right? So you got to think it through here. Where's the money come from? It's come from the parents. So we have to ID the parents as well as the buyers. You got to do two of them, right?
Even if they're not on title, just
Just so you know, we got like a 1-page thing. One of our agents, he did the horrible thing. Imagine that. He had a client in Calgary, an uncle, and uncle said, "Can you give the deposit for me and I'll pay you back?" No problem. Big trouble. Because now we have to ID the agent.
And it's not in trouble because they did it. They're in trouble because they didn't document it properly. They should have documented it and said, I lent him the thing and then he paid me back on this day. And it needs to be tracked and traced. They can't assume that.
Goes back to the receipt of.
It's not illegal
funds.
to do that. It's just you have to trace it properly.
It goes back to receipt of funds, right? What bank account did the money come from? Came from the agent's bank account number. So they got to ID that agent, right? So
identify himself then, or
Himself.
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 And actually he can't do it himself. He should actually have somebody else, like
He has to have somebody
me,
else
manager, or
identify
you
him.
guys do it for him. And so actually his receipt of funds forms were okay. He did say, I lent the money, but then he didn't FINTRAC himself. So it wasn't complete. It was like half done.
And then we have a business relationship, right?
Business relationship today means that it's not a business relationship that you might think, but a business relationship means that the person has bought more than one property from you.
Actually, in this context, what this is referring to is when you have the option to say residential for residential purposes, residential for income purposes, or commercial. So it's a third page. You have to check off what is the purpose of that business relationship. Is it for income? Is it for personal? Or is it commercial?
So you're specific.
You have to check it off.
So
Yeah.
here's the case, right?
You sell a house, the client sells a house, and the client buys a house.
That's two deals. That's a business relationship. Now you have to have a different disclosure. And you have to see, you can't just say what's the purpose of it's residential, but anyways. So with all these things, what happens is that the FinTracker app takes care of all this. That's why that's the direction that we're going. Right?
And it's pretty easy to use.
And it's a simple thing to use. All you do is you bring it on your phone, take a picture of the guy's driver's license, fill in the blanks, and it's done for you. So you can overcome a lot of these things by using this app. And the app is at no cost, and that's it. The other thing that we got to talk about on Wednesday, is it? Wednesday?
Yep.
Is the when you're dealing with numbered companies or you're dealing with people that are not they're not physically in front of you. So there's certain things you have to do. We have to do. If the person's not in front of you, let's say the person's in Calgary, right? And he's buying a property here, you have to identify him in Calgary, right? Even if it's your uncle, and the new app will let you do that. What the new app will do is you'll send the client the app itself, they send the link, and then the client themselves will take a selfie of themselves, take a picture of their driver's license, and the computer itself will say whether or not it's true or not true. So that's how you identify that. The other thing is numbered companies. When you do a numbered company, anybody here remember what you have to do for the numbered company? Or does it group?
In the case of the RV.
So you have to know who the owner is, right? You did. So and then once you know who the owner is, then you got to FINTRAC that person, right? That's what we're supposed to do. Everybody knows what we're supposed to do. How many people do it, right? Some people do it because why? Because somebody's file was pulled during the right. So these are things that we've all learned. Now, unfortunately, when they talked to the agent that lent money to the uncle, the agent didn't fully know all the things I just talked about. So now we got held because we never treated the agent. So we're guilty either way, right? So it's a serious thing. So when it comes up, this is what's going on.
We're not the only ones that are guilty. They found 24 brokerages that received fines of more than $2.6 million last year alone. So you're talking about creating jobs, and this is what they're looking for, it, right? So we didn't get fined yet, but other people did, and a lot of them are the same thing. So they found people did not have policies and procedures at all. So we're not one of those. 15 didn't have training programs. 63% of the cases didn't have proper record keeping. So we're not alone in this. This is our industry wide, right? So we actually have a problem in the industry with proper compliance. And I don't think it's always up to the brokerage leaders. I think it should be up to CREA or maybe our franchise owners or something like that too. But we're not alone in this. So they're going out, they're finding them. I don't agree with how they do it. I think there should be some sort of standardized system or guideline that we all follow.
And they should have
Some sort of
policies and procedures manual for us.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have to
I
create
shouldn't have to
our own.
create it and then get called out for missing something when, you know.
You could just give us the manual.
Yeah. So in our policy, it's mandatory to have the form, but if you want to do paper form, that's still okay. If you want to do FINTRAC or app, which we're going to recommend, you can do that. You can do both. I will outline both in our policies and procedures, but you have to do something either way, whichever one you decide to do. Yeah.
I think FINTRAC is the easiest one. Anybody used it yet?
Yeah, we use it only now.
So two, three people. Is it bad? Is it ugly? What is it?
It's easy.
Is it easier? They said easier,
Well,
right?
'cause the client has to do the heavy work, and then you do your little questionnaire, and
And then you get a PDF and send it to dual admin and it's done.
Like there's little things on there that when you do the risk assessment, it says on there, is this house anywhere near an airport? So if you're buying in Brampton, Mississauga, the answer is going to be yes. Right. If you're selling property in Welland or Niagara Falls, the question is it anywhere near an international border? You put yes. Right. And what was the high risk? They said Toronto's high risk. Or that's for your assessment.
For our office assessments, that North York is a high risk because it's in a crime area.
Here's what they said to us. They said
And then you should see what Claire says in rebuttal to that.
so
So here, the background
the high
is
crime?
we have to risk I have to risk ourselves and how high risk we are and what I'm doing to mitigate that risk. So one of the questions that makes you list your offices and you say low risk, medium risk, high risk. So I said we have a North York office and it's low risk because it's in an industrial area and it seats 10 people and we do regular deals. And then she tries to tell us that, no, it's actually high risk because it's in Toronto and there's tons of crime in Toronto. And Claire says, well, it's subjective because if you grew up in Scarborough where there's crime all around, that to me is low risk. I mean, we're from Scarborough.
When
so
I grew up in Scarborough, North York was heaven.
we're Scarborough people. It's in North York. It's really nice up there.
So according to these guys, North York is a medium risk because it's Toronto.
It's Toronto.
It's weird.
Yeah. I know. I saw it. Yeah. The kind of details they're looking at.
you're a terrorist.
So I think we're better to we're just make everything medium risk.
Yeah, my next one is I'm just going to be high risk if that's what they want to see. High risk and high alert, and I'm it's still an airport.
It's an airport,
Yeah.
yeah.
And they go international, I know, yeah.
Why is it?
near
So
the airport?
terrorists and steal the
Terror.
money, get in a plane and run away fast.
Yeah. I mean, many people live in Mississauga and they're low risk.
Well,
but
even
it's
yeah,
just
like
one
even
part of it.
downtown Toronto would be considered high risk with Billy Bishop there.
The one that got fined, just so you know, the company got fined $150,000. What the agent did, they got an internet lead. And they bought a commercial property in Niagara Falls.
This person lived
And
in
they-
Thornhill.
and they never met them.
Mhm.
So when it said there, so the questions very clearly say, did you meet this guy in person? Right? Is that the first question?
Yeah, and yes or no.
And they put yes. And it was actually no. Are they buying near an international blah blah blah? No. It's Niagara Falls, of course. So the agent didn't know it. The agent just filled in the blanks like you would normally. That was the thing. That's the point. And I'm sure that that's not the only agent that does that.
No, but FINTRAC's position is that the brokerage should have known that that agent who facilitated that deal was a little bit unusual or suspicious, and therefore should have submitted a suspicious transaction report. And that's what they got fined for, was not submitting an STR report.
Find themselves.
See, and here's the problem too. We're supposed to look at every file and determine ourselves whether or not the information you put is correct. So how would I know
That's right.
that this person bought in Niagara Falls, that this person was an internet call, and that my agent never saw them in person? How would I know that?
Yeah.
But we're supposed to, so here we are.
That means we have to check the background check for every single person, every single buyer seller.
That's what they want you to do.
Yeah, but as the first person making a default, it's a government who's up. And they're the ones passing everything goes just like that. Every money that comes from this country, they know what it is, but they close their eyes.
Yeah. Anyways.
Crazy.
It's what it is. So
that's
Wish that part of the individual.
always a brokerage.
Well, the individual got fined too, but the individual quit.
Oh,
Well, I know what I would be doing if I was the brokerage, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh,
so that's these are things we got up against. So
Okay, good. You guys go. I'll do mine after.
Okay. Do you want to go into stats or you want to see who did open houses?
talk to us.
Anyone run open houses? I know you did because I saw the list on Sunday come out. Anyone here or online? No, you.
Michael did one in Pickering. One person showed up.
One person.
A condo town, which is very
Okay.
interesting.
I attended
You attended some?
weekend, extremely weekend.
Busy?
Busy?
Which area?
Extremely busy. I mean, I thought it's like a 2021. 2 property, 3 property cases.
Mississauga?
Half an hour, I think I saw 17 to 18 happening.
Wow. Mississauga's popular.
Came on Thursday while we were there on Sunday. The listing agent said, I did one deal with the same listing agent 2 weeks back. This is on the already they should offer. They listed 995. They should offer 1.5.
Wow.
1.4.
So they really underlisted it.
Sorry.
They really underlisted it then.
And no, but the crowd, even second property 1.1. At least I saw 10, 12.
Wow. It's good to see.
But both the properties were rentable this.
Interesting.
Rentable basements. That's Mississauga's popular.
He touched. That's also my experience of the Jack. I went to one pound. And there was about 6 couples already in there. And as I'm walking out, there was 2 more couples
Wow.
out of the way. And they also had 2 offers on the table.
What price point?
And 699.
699 Ajax.
They were holding
popular,
offers?
No. Central Asia take it out of price.
Mm.
That's 72 hour in. Well,
Interesting.
That's an opportunity.
That's an opportunity.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
That's true. And you, Seneca, you had to cancel your open house. That was last weekend. Yeah.
So it looks like detached are okay. Freehold. The condos are still,
I've seen some old condos getting offers right now,
yeah,
Older ones.
downtown at least.
but for much lower prices, or what price point?
No, like 600. 1 bedroom. As long as that is realistic, I think for some.
We know right now that if the price is like 6, 7, 800,000, 900,000, we know they're getting a lot of attention on those types of properties, right? Anybody agree to that? I've been suggesting to people, like, what are you doing to advertise for buyers, or like, what are you doing to market yourself? So people using Facebook Marketplace, or what are we using to try to generate buyer leads?
Facebook Marketplace, I know of.
Facebook Marketplace, okay, and just not that I watch or anything, I'm just curious. When people are advertising on Facebook Marketplace, are you advertising the $1.4 million house with 2-car garage and pool, blah, 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 or are you advertising the $750,000 house? All right, okay, good. So if you're doing that, that's where the action is right now. So I think I'd be putting stuff in there. And
Like under
I
700,000?
suggested some people, you don't even have to necessarily, you have to have a real listing, but you don't necessarily have to identify the listing. You just say that properties for sale and where it is, townhouse, bungalow, this price 700,000, price 800,000, 750, whatever it might be. Then just put a list. Call me for more details.
So we had a question last week. This is for you, Claire. Someone has an exclusive listing. They want to advertise it, but we can't because of our Korea rule. How can they make a Facebook ad that is compliant, but still the goal is to get themselves buyer leads before this thing goes on the market? They're not ready to go on the market till, like, let's say fall.
I think I just said, buyer properties available for less than $800,000. Call me today.
Can you use a
Not a
picture
specific-
of that house, or can you have to use
No,
a
I just use generic.
generic house? So it's just a buyer. It's generic. You can't leverage your exclusive listing then.
No, you're not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
Not putting the address.
No, you're not putting an address.
But if you put a picture of the house, still advertising that house, right?
I know.
So do it as an active.
I would just. What if I
That's I want you to tell them what you would do.
I put my picture.
Claire said it was okay.
Yeah.
Exactly. That is a reminder, though. I have had a couple agents that have been putting up coming soon signs too early. So there is a fine for it. Some agents are laughing about it. Some take it seriously, but there is a giant fine for it if you guys put a coming soon up and you're not going on MLS within 3 days. What's the fine? I know it's like $3,000
for each, the broker, and then another
Yeah.
$3,000 for the agent.
So those agents that are giggling about it. I already scolded one
So
last
if you want a
week.
$6,000 marketing budget, that's okay. If you want to come in
And they
here.
just aren't showing up for appointments. Be careful. There's a $3,000 fine too.
Yeah. So there's a lot of naughty things.
That one's getting crazy.
That's
The showings one, it's getting kind of crazy. My only advice for you is try to book yourselves hour time slots maybe. Like if Broker Bay is only giving you the 30-minute, just call their office and try to get yourself an hour. If you're out all day back to back, it's really hard to get to that half an hour window. Like we had one where she had to reschedule it because she was running late, and then they ended up canceling, and she canceled late. And we got a message from Rico like almost right away. They're looking at it differently now. She didn't get a fine or a course or anything, but
We haven't had it. Don't know yet.
No, she just got the complaint so far.
but yeah, it's getting really tight out there.
Something else has happened out there. I mean, Nelson, you heard this one too. Multiple offers here. I've had 3 cases last week. I'm not sure if you got any involved where the buyers, 10 offers, the buyer wins. And what does the buyer do? They get the winning buyer. You get cold feet. Don't give us a check next day.
Yeah.
I had it 3 times last week.
Wow.
3 times.
3 times. So what's going on? Not the same property, but yeah. The buyers, again, it's a buyer's market. All of a sudden the buyer wins. They go, oh crap, I paid too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially in this market.
Yeah, they're thinking like, why did I do that?
Right? So I paid too much. I mean, 10 offers and I won. Oh my God, I paid too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So as a buying agent, you want that check in your hand.
Yeah.
Right? Because ultimately you're responsible. The guy's going to say, how come, what are you doing giving an offer without a check?
Yeah, because now to go back to all your 9 offers is hard to get the momentum back again. It's hard to recreate.
I had one yesterday where the buyer put an offer on the Saturday, I guess it was. I guess he didn't think he was going to win in multiple offers. He won. Then the agent trying to get the check for the next day. Okay, we need a $50,000 check. He says, I'm in Hawaii right now. I just got in the plane. So it was a fixer up property. It was like a investor, like a guy that buys rundown properties and fixes them up, right? But still, I guess he didn't think he was going to get it. So didn't tell her that he was leaving, and then now we got a problem there too. So
It's interesting.
Lots of fun out there.
Okay. Well, why don't you jump into stats and
okay, I'll just do one more thing and then I'm finished. Sure, you guys take a look. So we've got 19,750 active.
you've got a whole
listings.
pile here, by the way.
Yeah.
It's not just one more thing, but sorry.
I read all this, just so you know, I read all this stuff just so.
No, we all want to hear you talk. It's okay.
I don't think so.
Look, they're all here for you. It's okay.
So we touched over 20,000 for a little bit there. Then we went back down to 19,750. There's 10,600 freeholds, 9,000 are condos. I was reading something that talking about the condominium market, how condos less than 500 square feet are really struggling. Did anybody read stuff like that?
Yeah.
And it's funny how people can write stuff, but I don't know. I'm not sure if it's based on fact or just what they think's logical. Because I checked there, and I have here that there's 420 listings on MLS that are less than 500 square feet, and we sold 48 of them. So 10% sold. So 10% sold. That means it's 9% or 9% didn't sell.
Yeah.
Right. So I guess it's yeah. So I guess there's something going on there. But in any case, the 19,000 vacants are about 38% of the properties are vacant. 46% of condos are vacant. 31% of freeholds are vacant. Sales themselves for February are going to be minus 7% from February last year, although it will be up from January. January sales Treb was 3,062, something like that. And I think I think February's going to come in this year about 3,800. So it's going to be a little bit more, about 7% more than February last year. Does everybody remember the sales for? No, sorry, January sales were 3,062,000. Sorry, so we're up from January, and then February last year was about 4,800, 4,100. So we're going to come in about 3,800. So about about minus 7%. Freeholds minus 5%, condos minus 9%. Sales over 101%. There's still about 20% of properties are still in for over asking. So if you want to give that a try, you can. That does work 20% of the time. Months of inventory would be 5.2 overall. It's 4.5 months of inventory for freeholds and 6.3 months of inventory for condos. Anybody hear how condos are trying to sell right now? Is it condos are tough slugging? So it's 6.3 months of inventory, but I said on the minus 500 square feet, there's almost 10 months of inventory. So you're right.
So I guess the minus 5,000 is struggling more than the other ones. Compared to January, those sales are up 26%. So January sales versus February sales, February sales was 26% ahead of January. So that's good news. That means we're going the right direction. Leases 18,000. It's split between 10,000 condos, 8,000 freeholds. Vacancy on those is about 60%. And leases are about 10% ahead of last year, about 2% less than, 2% ahead of January. So hopefully we're going to start the January, February market, I think was, anybody agree January, February was pretty dead?
Yeah.
3,000 sales, 3,100 sales. It's really not what we expect. So that tells us that
Yeah, some people are smiling and some are not.
March will start to take off. We'll go March.
Yeah.
Ramadan.
After Ramadan?
Yeah, well, Ramadan and so much garbage going on in the world too, right?
Yeah.
Well, what's up?
What's happening in the world? Yeah, what a mess.
Yeah, so much. Do we think clients are affected by that stuff right now? Like just the general world?
Keep our face anymore.
There's just so much.
I think
happening.
they're still impacted. Yeah, it's going to be a tough year, I think. Keep going, or we keep going?
I'm done.
Well, headlines agree. This one came from Korea. Canadian home sales begin 2026 on ice. That's Snowbury, Central Canada. So yeah, they're just talking about it's not just here in Ontario. All over sales are down. Although we are leading the downage, like Montreal, Quebec City, Calgary, Greater Vancouver, and Southwestern Ontario were leading the chart.
I wonder how Saskatchewan's doing. They were doing well like last year.
I'm reading that their prices are increasing and that their sales are increasing.
Yes, I think they have a different market than us.
Yes, they do. Yeah, it's very different.
Did you see Saskatchewan?
Yeah, apparently Saskatchewan was like the complete opposite of what we were experiencing last year. And maybe Nova Scotia, I don't know. The more affordable provinces.
That's true. I read that we only sold 269 new houses. So that's for new housing starts. Those were primarily like single family sort of houses and then some condos as well. But these are record breaking lows for new housing starts. It's almost nothing really for 2026. But I am reading some of what the condo market recovery could look like. So I don't think people are comparing it to what happened in the 90s and what they did to recover. So we know that a lot of those developers are turning into purpose-built rentals, and CMHC is helping because they've got a program to incentivize developers to do that. I'm also reading that there may be a shift more to luxury condo buildings. So there are some being built right now in Toronto and they are digging the ground, but they're looking at like 2,000 square foot units, 3 bedrooms over like 1 million, 2 million, like really luxury units. And these are attracting people that are in downtown who are maybe downsizing. So there's a market for that. I'm also reading that in cases where maybe the lots were approved for like 60 stories and huge towers, that developers are still just going to pivot. They're going to use the land, but they're going to build maybe townhouses instead to lower their cost, or maybe they'll do more low to mid-rise buildings. So it won't be like the 60 units, 200 units. It'll be like 18 stories and, a couple hundred units. So things like where the Golden Mile, they are predicting about 45,000 units. Projects like that are going to stand still because they don't have the capital to build those, but maybe they'll take that space and build something else instead. I don't know, Claire, did you see that happening in the pre-con world, like in the 90s? Like when things started getting bad, they started shifting sort of what they did with the space, or did they just stand still?
Pre-construction.
Pre-construction.
I don't think it was a big deal back then, was it? Like our Beale here. Pre-construction back in the 90s, I don't think it was
It wasn't like the big hype that we
was
had right
then,
now.
so.
Yeah. But yeah, these kind of things will help the condo market come back, because we do know that, with no starts coming, 2029 is where the demand is going to come. And so if we don't have anything, at least they're building some smaller ones now. But they're definitely not attracting that investor mindset. They're just going after the end users who want to live in condos. And I was reading that sort of pre-con boom happened in the 80s by a local lawyer who had saw it happen in Hong Kong, where they would pre-sell these units before they got sold and then use that capital to get their loan. So they brought that from Hong Kong and applied it, I guess, to the early harborfront projects. I don't know if you remember that in the 80s, but this is where the pre-con hype started to happen, where you would pre-sell something before it even got built. And then it just got too crazy. It just, that time has stopped now. And now we're coming back to a more conservative model where the lenders will get their own financing from their own means and not from pre-selling it. And that's what they do in Europe and many places in the US as well. So I think things in the condo market can turn around, it's just going to shift into who they're marketing to and what kind of product they're building. But we definitely saw a really crazy time in the condo world. It's definitely a pivotal time for our career also in real estate, just to watch all of that happen.
Yeah.
3 to 5 years is when they're seeing a full sort of condo market recovery as well.
The same Beth. I've got numbers here now too. I won't bore with numbers. But a lot of these developers here have gone from condominium to purpose-built rentals.
Yeah.
And they're building purpose-built rentals, and what they're betting on is that because nobody's building condos right now, that there's going to be a shortage of rental units in the next 3, 4, 5 years. So that's why all these guys have gone into the rental market, figure the market's going to take off because nobody's building condos right now. So that's what they're saying.
And it's necessary because I'm also reading that we have a really big crisis happening with our current existing purpose-built rentals that are about to run down. There's some research that's showing that some of them are already deteriorating. Some of them are going to be really critical condition in the next 10 years. So that will hopefully help some of this, because there's some buildings that are really bad, like millions and millions of dollars that require special assessments to fix these things. Well, not special assessments, these are rentals, right? Where's this? Yeah, so a lot of the programs, they had a program that was set to sunset in 2028 where they were doing a bunch of repairs. But they've got a whole slew of co-op housing all over the city that are almost not livable anymore. For one example, is a 350 unit building. It needs 24 million of repair needs that they don't have. So things such as electrical, the underground garage, just basic living things, and they don't have the funds.
This is the Toronto City.
These are the properties that the city owns, for housing. There's roofs, there's $1 billion of repair backlog. So this is sort of an unfortunate thing. It's not good right now, but hopefully some of these new purpose-built rentals the city will get involved and help with that kind of housing. The other trend I'm reading is seniors housing is about to become the new trend. So I talked a little bit about luxury housing, people with big families, but seniors are the ones that are going to be needing housing. And there's a big boom for investors looking into senior-based condo apartments and investments and things like that. Investors have poured over $2.7 billion into senior housing in 2025, but 70% of those deals were led by public companies. So I do agree with that. I think there's a need for seniors housing, especially affordable seniors housing, and that will help our resale market if we can get them appropriate housing. So otherwise, most of our clients are aging in place
or moving in
until
with
they
the
can,
kids.
moving with kids, but far late, right? They're staying in that house forever, and that's why our first-time home buyers can't get into some nice houses because no one's moving. There's a bit of a stuck cycle. So I agree that that's going to be a trend. So something to watch out for with your own clients as well. Yeah. They just passed last Thursday, February 26th, final reading in the Senate. This is for Bill C4 for Canadian Housing Affordability. It's titled Making Life More Affordable for Canadians Act. It's a GST rebate, I believe, for first-time home buyers for up to $50,000 of GST. So it's just passed. It's not formally done yet.
It says almost today about that. So
yeah, it just happened last February 26th. So again, they're really targeting the first-time home buyers. It's maybe not the only place they should be targeting, but they are the people that do need some help. And I wonder if it's going to be for newly constructed homes. They're really trying to get people to buy pre-construction. There was a project last week in Newcastle that I got a lot of emails on. So I don't know if people are looking again at pre-construction, or maybe at least because of these programs. Like we had one first-time home buyer that said that we'll look at pre-con because of these incentives, but nothing's going to be available for a while. And there's still lots of risks associated with buying newly constructed homes too, right? But they're trying policy-wise to help get people in. I'm going to go with yours.
Oh, go ahead.
Toronto office towers are continuing to recover. More people are being ordered back to work. Are you seeing that with your clients who are working for government or big banks? I'm seeing it with my circle of friends, like some people that work for BMO or at home
BMO sending them
5
back.
days a week. They're back 4 days a week. And they're on some weird schedule too, because they said there's actually not enough space for everyone to come back. So that's what this article is saying, that now these big companies are trying to get more space and they're looking for nice, like A-class space. They're not looking for like old buildings anymore. They want something nice downtown because they know employees are going to want somewhere nice to go to work. So they've really got some nice budgets for that. But yeah, in the case that I know of BMO, they've got some segment of people that are doing 3 days a week and then they're going to 4 days a week. in January, but then they reverse. So I guess they take a whole group of department other people and they reverse them, which must mean that they don't also have their own set desks anymore.
They
It must be all open hoteling.
My girlfriend works there. They just show up and it's like this where you just pop wherever you can.
Yeah.
There's no like dedicated cubicle for you.
It's going to shift a lot of people's lives too, right? Like to go from home 5 days a week into commuting to an office, packing your lunch, going home,
Back to
figuring your
work.
that's I don't know, but it is helping the commercial downtown. I know it's helping the resale market for rentals downtown. They've got some mega tenants that are investing big, like Wealthsimple just got a bunch of space, Lyft, and there's another big company I read that they're getting thousands and thousands of square feet of space. Wealthsimple, Lyft, and Nvidia. So that makes sense. They're getting all significant square footage. And I know the banks are all trying to get more square feet because they didn't have enough and they got rid of it. And now they're trying to get it back. So
they're also saying here that a lot of these small condos we talked about, now they're selling for the $400,000 range. So rather than somebody having to sell their house up in, I don't know, Port Perry to get to work downtown, maybe they could just buy some little small place downtown instead. You got anybody here having any leases downtown? Anybody got any leases for sale downtown? No? Nothing here? Doesn't matter? Okay, that's fine. Good. Yeah, but the prices now are getting to the point where you might be better off to own rather than rent.
yeah. And I'm still reading that they don't want to yet because I think they want to wait a year to see if this work from the office is going to stay or if they're going to change their minds again or we're going to have another pandemic one day. And it seems like I think people are cautious to buy.
So we're doing lots of leases right now. So the people that are leasing, who are the people that are leasing right now? These are young folks, old folks?
Like young
New
professionals.
Canadians, or I'm looking at Morale now, or leasing.
They're young folks, and the reason why they're not buying is because why?
They want money.
Maybe they're just getting started.
Down payment. Yeah. Yeah, cash flow is one thing. If they bought income, they can pay the mortgage, but they can't get the initial down payment. That makes sense.
Is that true? Like they don't have the down payment, or they have the down payment, but they're not confident with the market itself, so they don't want to make that commitment.
Is it? You go on county.
It's down payment, not confident, or getting both, right?
Yeah.
Divorces.
Well, there's still the triple Ds, right? So
Death, diapers, and divorce.
that's starting
The
divorce.
divorce one's hard these days because I'm finding a lot of couples can't actually afford to get divorced. Like they're trying to do buyouts of the one property, neither one can
They
or
gotta
they
live
neither
together.
can. And I'm actually seeing a lot of people that wanted to get divorced before the pandemic and actually could not afford to. So they're still in that house in separate dwellings, and then even still today,
They live in
they
the
both can't get. So
basement.
who gets to have a house?
Fran must be seeing a lot of that.
Yeah, it's kind of sad actually to think about.
No one can buy each other out.
So they end up saying living together,
if they sell, it's
co-parenting.
not enough. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
so
kinda
that's a big
scary.
challenge for those people going through that right now. Yeah, true. Well, that's where we can help them. We can help with the process and identifying, the steps and breaking it down for them. But then there's an affordability piece too. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah.
In case of divorce, I know stupid question. I received one call that go it produce, and the husband said, Sandeep, I want to live with. The property is already listed. Last 58 days, they reduced the by 3 times, and no showing happy. He say, why they not allowing to change the reviews?
You can co-broke, but you'd have to get that agreement with the other agent.
Yeah. So you can't interfere with their contract, but they can make a suggestion that they want to add an agent to the contract. So they'd have to have that conversation, say, listen, they want to bring on somebody and co-list it. There is a co-list form. You have to be very clear about it, but we can't interfere with their existing contract, but he can certainly ask you questions and they can bring you on board. But it's part of the challenges with dealing with that was dealing with the two couples too, because they're fighting, they're getting a divorce. So
Why they checking the division and the guy is like,
The realtor's in the between, eh?
Yeah.
So it would make it easier if a realtor to realtor were talking. One reps the husband, one reps the wife, but sometimes they can't even agree on that.
I was just gonna say sometimes then the lawyer will get involved and say, listen, we need to bring on an unbiased person. So
Unfortunately, the lawyers are expensive, so realtors are the free lawyer in between.
So this could be Tales from the Street, right? So just, you guys like Tales from the Street?
Yes.
Okay, same
do.
thing, right? So we have 2 agents. One of our agents, another agent up north. So up north agents knows the area up north, so they co-list, right? Which means that somebody has to take the lead. So the agent up north takes the lead because he's going to get the sign calls and he's going to show the property because he's up north, right? Property expires, doesn't sell. Guy up north sends the bill down to the agent down here for marketing, for open houses, for showing the property, for putting a key lockbox on, for doing
my gosh.
the social media,
for advertising in the cottage news and blah, 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 blah. So anybody see a problem here?
Mm-hmm.
And he wants the other agent, the co-agent, to pay half the marketing fees.
Were they splitting the commission if it's sold?
Splitting the commission if it's sold. So who wins?
Yeah, there should be some written agreement before they start paying for marketing.
Yeah.
So if you're going to co-list, have an agreement who pays for what, who's doing what, right?
Yeah.
This agreement what you are referring is a standard template over here.
Yeah.
There's a standard form there that Trev has, but but there's also some blank lines in there. You got to put in there who pays for what.
Yeah, Form 650 is a co-listing form, and it has some examples. So example, say deposit, who's holding it. It has a column. So it has co-list and a main one. There's always a main person who will hold a deposit and only one sign. And then it talks about marketing. And then there's some blank lines. So in those blank lines, you're going to want to say what happens when a lead comes in, who takes the lead and how do we split it. Marketing, who pays for it and what does it involve. And I would be very detailed and very outlined, and that form will protect you on both sides, and it helps us as brokers mediate that, because otherwise without that, you can't do anything.
What the form says right now, default is that if there's a co-op, if you happen to get your own buyer, you're not sharing the buyer co-op risk.
Yeah.
It says right on there.
The code is only possible if the present listing agent is agree on that.
In Sandeep's example,
Yeah, you can't co-list.
Yeah.
You can't co-list.
Can't
just
come
go
on
list
in.
someone else, because you sign the bubble that says you're not listed with someone else.
So think of the logic here for just to get in the weeds a little bit here. So here's an agent that's advertising in the cottage newspapers. He's advertising in the social media. He's advertising wherever else. My question to our agent was, okay, so if somebody calls on that ad or somebody calls on that social media, are you guys going to share it? Because we've already agreed that if you get your own buyer, you're not going to share the commission. So what's the purpose of advertising it?
Yeah.
And then my next question was what he does in social media, does it have his name on the social media and your name and his phone number and your phone number? Basically, the person's self-promoting himself. So why would you want to pay for self-promote somebody else, right? But the fact is that be clear at the beginning, who pays for what.
Yeah, I think we're just refer it. Just get your split and
take
let
your
them run it.
25%.
I know it is more clean actually in a lot of situations. Yeah.
Go your stuff then.
I just have one more thing I'll say, and Katelyn can jump in. I'm doing a lot more inspections these days, obviously, right? Your buyers are doing inspections, and if you're a seller, you're hosting the inspection. Seneca had a really good call with a seller who was prepping for a buyer to come do the home inspection, and as a seller, he was guiding them what they should do to prep the house to obtain a home inspection. So he was saying, make sure your attic areas are free and clear of clutter, and they can easily see the attic door, because they can't get up there. It's going to cause issues, or they're going to think you're hiding something, or they have to come back. You're going to cause delays.
It's usually like in a closet or something like that.
He had them changing out the filters for the furnaces, so that was a fresh filter. So then when they went down to check the filter, everything looked clean and fresh. Had them clean up the area, make sure the kitchen was clean, everything around the faucets was clean. Seneca, anything else that you told them to kind of prep for? It was just a general seller's prep.
Weren't you like filling
for the home
cracks and
inspection.
stuff?
Yeah, like doing some some touch-ups that we're doing.
We still got mold in it.
That's
They
okay.
did?
Yeah, you can't hide mold.
Can't
from
hide
it.
that, yeah.
But you probably made the experience good enough where when they saw the mold, they knew they could come to you and that you'd remediate it or do something, right? Which you did. So
They didn't
I
back
think,
it.
So I think it was good that not just on the buyer side to go do the inspection, but prep your sellers for a successful home inspection to make it a positive experience for everybody, right? Because it's hard.
All my sellers that, hey, just so you understand, people will come back and ask for money.
That's right. Yeah, and prep them for that.
For things like mold, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Every
gonna
house has
happen.
mold. Everyone needs some mold. That should be
Yeah.
every house.
I think a lot of houses do have mold, unfortunately.
Every house has mold.
Every house has mold.
Everyone should have their houses checked.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm also seeing a trend that we are still too scared to tell our sellers bad news. So we're getting offers. It's not what our seller wants. We know that. We together we talk, but then when you go talk to the seller, it's hard to tell them. So we have to get really comfortable just showing them the facts and the news. We're not giving them bad news. It's not our fault. We didn't make the market, but you have to be really honest with them, because every week that goes on, they're losing money.
And if you're not having those conversations, it makes you look way worse.
Because then you've got a listing, it's all of a sudden 3 months, and now you're 10% lower than what you were when you first listed. And now that conversation is even harder. So just get really comfortable sharing that news. Like, practice your scripts, talk to yourself if you need to, talk to us, but get comfortable sharing the news. Our
Well, you
clients.
just have to take your own emotions. You have to take your emotion out of it. These are not like, yes, you didn't get the results that they were looking for. It's not your fault.
That's right.
Well, unless it is your fault. Right?
Unless you did
Usually it's not.
No, it's
Most of the
not.
sellers, I think the hard part is the ones that just bought a few years ago and they calculate how much they put into the place, what their penalties will be, what the commission, and then they add. And they're like, this is what I need to sell it for. And you're like, unfortunately, like the buyers don't care
And
what,
some of
what
those
you put
things,
in.
like they think that they're upgrading the house, but those are just basic minimum that you had to do to get your house to a minimum standard. You don't get your money back because you fixed the counter. That's what you had to do to list your house. So you don't get the $500 back. It's not in a purchase price. That's just the cost of business, unfortunately.
Yeah. So,
But it's been funny. Even I see it with me too. Like the client will say, "Okay, Carly, like, what do I need to sell it?" And I'll tell them, and then they ignore me, and they'll start talking to Sanic instead or something. Like they don't want to hear the news, right? Like it's very interesting. But at least you've got it documented that you told them what the price should be. So whether they believe it or not is a totally different thing.
I thought we were gonna get 40,000 listings. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Okay, so even you're changing.
I think P-Cell is gonna back out of actually putting it on the market.
who's going to back up?
Just sellers that when we tell them the
There's
price.
like three out of five people this week who were ready to list looked at the price and said, you know what, no, we're not listing.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
Then they're just going to sell later. So at least you're not spending your money trying to get them this fake price that they want. And then they take it off the market and then you just lost a bunch of money.
Property is really special, Katie.
I know. It's the most special property.
Kathy Webster
So
told me
true.
once it's the stronger nails theory.
What's that?
And they hammer in their nails that their nails are stronger than the nails that the other house used.
Got it.
Right? Like they're
I feel like that's something else in would speak to.
I got it from somewhere.
Floyd Wickman had a thing about two houses side by side, and both of them had to have drilled wells. So one got water after 500 square feet or 500 feet. They got water. The next door neighbor didn't get water till 10,000 feet. So it cost this guy $1,000 to drill his well. It cost the guy $10,000 to draw his well. So this guy wanted more money for his house than this house. At the end of the day, they both got water. You think the house that had $10,000 for the deep well is it worth more? No, it's not.
No.
So got to think about these things. All they're doing is they're bringing the property up to speed, right?
Yeah. It's interesting, the mindset these days. Mm-hmm.
Just some U.S. news, if you follow this stuff at all, it's only kind of interesting because we're part of Anywhere brands in the U.S., even though Canada's a little bit different. But C21 is part of a huge conglomerate in the U.S. It's one of the biggest ones they have. And they've been fighting with Zillow lately. Zillow used to be their #1 site to view listings. So for us, it's realtor.ca, but Zillow is quite popular. And Zillow changed their rules around exclusive listings. So kind of not for the same reasons we did it, but they were not allowing exclusive listings on Zillow. So it was causing a huge fight between Compass, and they didn't want to put their listings on Zillow platform. Redfin, Zillow, Compass were all fighting, and ended up Compass and Redfin got together to allow Compass to put their exclusive listings on Redfin's website. So they're actually completely coming off of now Zillow, which is going to drive people to Redfin, and they actually have a way now to advertise their exclusive listings. Which is against some rules, and they're going to have some fights over that. But just some interesting shakeups happening in the U.S. about technology and bigger brokerages leveraging the number of agents they have to dominate certain platforms to keep their listings within the Anywhere circle and to sell more houses is their goal. They want to sell more and they want less on Zillow because Zillow actually sells leads. So that's a whole
I think they had a big
thing.
fear of this happening when these big buyouts were happening. They were like, oh, like the C21s, all that. It's going to be they have the majority of agents now, and if they can get a hold of the exclusive listings, I think they were saying something about it like threatens the MLS system. If they have more agents on the platform, they can avoid putting on MLS.
Yeah.
This might be their way of heading that direction.
Yeah, so it won't happen here in Canada. Canada's still realtor.ca. It's dominated here, but it's just to show you what's happening in the US. Like things change all the time. So Rocket Companies is what runs Redfin, and now Compass, as the largest brokerage in the U.S., is going to have exclusive listings on this platform. So you're keeping up with that kind of stuff. It's just interesting to see the shakeup. You won't ever see that kind of shakeup happening here in Canada. We don't have that many listings on people. We only have 19,000 in GTA, so
That's wild.
Yeah.
You're good? Yep. Okay, I'm just going to do one quick sales reminder for you guys that are doing like listing appointments and all that. I know we talk all about listings, and I've been trying to push you guys towards like the consultation approach. I was just reading another I think it's a 6-phase listing appointments. So I just want to remind you guys, if you are going to be going on listing appointments, what you guys should be doing if you guys are trying to think about ways to improve your strategy. I like that they say to like print this checklist. Like I always tell you guys, like bring your scripts, bring everything with you. It's okay. But this one's a 6-phase listing appointment. I'll just go through the phases with you guys. But so for phase 1 of appointment is the pre-appointment preparation. This is stuff that you guys should be doing before you arrive on the appointment. So simple things like on the morning of the appointment, sending an email outlining the agenda. I think we started doing this because sometimes when you get into the home, it might just be us, but sometimes the sellers want to like chit chat and like sometimes the conversation can get awkward. But I find when you send them like an email just saying, hey, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to come home or I'm going to come in. We're going to do a tour of the house. We're going to sit at the table. We're going to talk about blah, 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 blah. I'll see you tomorrow, and you just let them know that there's no prep. So I think sending out like a game plan email is what they call it. This was an interesting one as well, maybe something that Varan's team would help us with, but bringing a printed email from your lender. Actually, no, this one's kind of stupid. Let's not do this. Just bring a printed email from your lender detailing how many pre-approved buyers are currently looking. Like, I mean, Varan can maybe like pretend, but that's a US thing maybe. Don't do that. Do you have that? Be like, yeah, our mortgage team has thousands of buyers pre-approved and ready to go. I guess you could say it in that way. You can now say you have like an in-house mortgage team that also has buyers. And anyways, then there's the pre-appointment drop-off. This is up to you guys. We always talk about dropping off maybe the pre-list package the day before. A lot of agents don't do this, but maybe even emailing it. But they're saying drop off an envelope containing certain information on the property. Write on it, do not open until our meeting tomorrow. So that kind of goes against it. But this is just another alternative, creative way if you guys are thinking about it. And then they're saying go in memorizing the key demographic stats about their specific neighborhood and make a conscious effort or decision before knocking that you're going to love the house and love the sellers. So you have to go in with good mindset. Part of your pre-list package too that we give you is the market stats to have with you on the paper. But I do think it does sound better if you guys do memorize how many days on market like that current area is. Carly actually did a really cool thing today. We were talking about listing low strategies, and she was able to say just from our Monday stats saying only 20% of properties are selling above asking. So that strategy may not work because they're a little hesitant on a list low strategy. So just understanding like market stats and stuff like that to bring to the table, it just makes you look a lot better. Phase 2, arrive at the property and then do a property tour. So before you walk up to the door, they're saying take a moment to look at the exterior of the house as well. Jot down a few notes experiencing the curb appeal. Sometimes we take photos of the outside of the house. I don't know if you guys do that or a video just to remind yourself, but some agents just rush to the front door instead of kind of like taking time. I've seen appraisals do it too. Like they'll take a few minutes actually outside of the house, taking photos from all angles, and then they go into the home. So kind of doing the same thing as well. When you walk in, I don't know if there's a right or wrong way to do it, but maybe ask the clients when you're at the door just saying, would you like to do a brief walkthrough of the property or would you like to sit down and strategize? So I know sometimes we like to go straight for the table, but sometimes the sellers are just ready to do the tour as soon as you walk in the door. I don't know which is the right way. It changes each time.
I found myself more adaptable in that situation.
Same.
Now, I used to be very like, no, we got to get to the table. And now I'm kind of feeling out because sometimes they don't want to talk at a table at all. They just want to show you the house. And
or they want to
agreement.
chit chat while they're walking around the house and you're almost doing your table talk while walking.
Yeah,
so
we've been more flexible with that lately.
Just kind of look at the clients. You'll get a feeling for them as well, but maybe ask them before you go in now because I used to tell you exactly, go straight to the table before the tour, but see what the sellers would want to do. And then as you're doing the tour, don't ever interrupt them when they're bragging about their home. And when a spouse points out an upgrade, ask whose idea was that and affirm that that spouse had a great decision. And then also ask them if they've done it for resale purpose or livability. So when you guys are doing the tours, just kind of, because sometimes you got to pump the husband up for like those weird updates he did to the house and make them feel great about themselves. And sometimes there's like really like they're like, I built that in 1975, and you're like, it's beautiful, looks amazing, and like pump them up that the buyers are gonna like it. Like you are building rapport. Don't like, as I have gone on listing appointments where they didn't choose the other agent because of how negative they were about the property. So even if we think it's ugly, whatever, you're trying to get on their side. So we're building rapport throughout the house. Phase 3, the sit down and the foundation. This is, again, where we encourage you guys to sit at the kitchen table, because if you've ever sat at a couch in the living room, you know it's a little awkward. You can't really, I don't know, it doesn't feel as formal. Our last presentation, we sat on chairs, but this guy wasn't a formal guy. So again, read the room as well. But if any opportunity you can get to the kitchen table, get it there. And then ask them if they want to start talking about marketing strategies or pricing. So typically when you're at the kitchen table, this is when you're going to be popping out your CMA. This is when you're talking about all the different marketing and all the strategies. That's why it's more important to sit at that table.
I'm going to add one more thing too. We just experienced today, which we haven't done in a long time. If they don't have a kitchen table, like a lot of our listings are grandma houses that are downsizing, bring them to the office.
Yes,
we have nice offices. And
Yeah.
actually today was kind of nice to meet a client at the office and then continue on with our work, and we weren't driving around and coming back. And I forgot we could do that.
I forgot we could do it too. So yeah, if
We
you guys
have
can do the
offices.
tour at the house, maybe you do a strategy, or maybe you're like, hey, let's just look at the house, but then come to my office and do we'll talk about price and strategy there. It was actually kind of refreshing to bring them back, because they wanted to meet before the meeting, and we're like, oh, well, we got a crunch time. We got to be out by a certain time. And that wouldn't have been a nice meeting at the house. But when we're like, if you come to the office, we won't have to rush you out as much. And it kept it very business, because
But then you said it, Claire, to get to see that you're part of something bigger. This is a nice space, and the clients see that you're part of a professional group.
yeah. So even for buyer consults, I think it's a good idea actually to, usually I'm not the in-person person, but you know what? The office is kind of nice to do even buyer consults instead of going to a Starbucks. You guys now have a nice Durham office, Scarborough. So maybe think about that for next consultations too, or even offer nights. We can bring those back. Also having the listing agreement out. So when you're doing your sit down, have the listing agreement out, the buyer rep agreement, and explain what each of those do mean. So take that opportunity to sit down and explain the contract. Although I will say, I know Christina also, again, you got to read the room, because Christina went up against another agent, and their agent, I think, described every part of the listing agreement, and the sellers hated it. So again, read the room. If you notice that your guys are falling asleep and they're just like, just tell me where to frickin' sign, just get to it, right? But some people, that is their listing presentation. So if they're not ready to sign, maybe going through the contract with them will help. Phase 4, this is drawing the process timeline. So show, flow, and demo. So this is a good time to grab your calendar. Even today we did that. We're like, all right, grab the calendar and say, okay, we're going to go live on the market in 2 weeks. That is the 23rd of March. So I need you guys to have everything prepared by this date. Then we're going to do photography. So pop out your calendar with everyone together and start to come across timelines, because then it's going to show that you're organized as well. And then at the end of the session, you're going to send them a summary of it. Discuss how they can get their house ready. Sometimes this part as well might be an after the appointment session as well, because sometimes you want to send the stuff to the stager and they'll tell you what the prep list is. And then you might send them an email of a checklist of all the items, because sometimes it is a lot, but you can talk about the basics, like let's get this place painted, let's declutter, and all that stuff. Then you're going to talk about your marketing strategy, your traditional, digital, and social marketing. Again, this is a good opportunity when you're going to ask them. So if you start to mention like an open house and you see them kind of like look at each other, like when you're talking about these things, you do have to watch their reactions. Like today we saw the wife looked at the husband when I mentioned an open house, and then I looked at them and I was like, do you not want an open house? She said, okay, but we were talking about staging, and I saw her again look at her husband. Like you could tell the husband was actually the guy that was going to speak up for the wife.
Yeah.
But she was the decision maker.
Yeah.
So when I saw her, I was like, okay, we don't want to do staging, do we? She's like, not really. I'm like, perfect. Take that off. Like, so you have to pay attention to their body language. So even if I'm giving you guys a presentation, go loosely with it, because like every single person isn't going to prefer a certain script or strategy. So we're trying to get the listing here. So we're trying to bond on what they want. And Claire talks about that all the time as well. Phase 5, then you're going to talk about pricing. So talk about pricing as a positioning, and the list price is just an invitation. So you might start to talk about the list price at the table, but something that works a lot for us is we'll ask the clients what they want. And then sometimes it aligns with you, sometimes it doesn't. But sometimes we don't choose the list price when you're actually at the table. You'll say, hey, we're not listing for 3 more weeks. This is the range we're looking for, but I'm actually not going to choose that list price until I know who's on the market the exact day that we're going to go live. And then that kind of takes the pressure off you on the spot for actually having to set an actual price. because then it kind of gives you time to go back, and then you're not going to decide until that week. And then you're going to decide if you're going to list above the market value, at market value, or if you're going to do a list low strategy. So you really do have to understand what's happening in the area, and then prove to them why that works. And then the last phase is future pacing and conclusion. So again, this is a great time when you're going to then talk about the pricing. And they call this the 10-10-0 rule. So we usually call it the 21-day rule, but I think in this market, it's more of a 10-day rule. So tell them up front, in the first 10 days, if we get no showings, or the first 10 showings we get no offers, then our price needs to be adjusted. So we do have to talk about that at the listing table. Like, hey, I know you want this price, but if we see no action, just know that we're going to be having a conversation about it. So then you're setting it up for that pricing adjustment. And then I think it makes that conversation easier. And then also in this market, set a strict communication schedule. So let them know I'm going to call you every Monday after the weekend to talk about how the weekend went, what the strategies are, so that they're not expecting you to call them and text them like every single day. So in this market, you might just have a once a week type of follow-up call. So that was it. I think that's just a reminder for you guys. Does anyone have any other tips, tricks that they've been doing? No? The pre-list packages are going to be available for you guys soon. I just ordered buyer and seller guides that are going to be nice, like good quality printed. What I've been noticing is a lot of agents will call me on a Saturday and say, hey, I'm going to a listing appointment in 2 hours. What do I do? And I'm like, it's Saturday, but not like I've been talking about this for like the last 10 years on how to have a listing and buyer package ready to go for those situations. So now we're going to have the buyers and the seller packages put into like a C21 folder. It will have the market stats, the contract, and your script inside of it. And then if you want the girls to print your CMA, then you can maybe email them if they're working. And then you can stick it in. So we will be selling those. I haven't chosen a real price, but now you will be able to come to this office or Salem and grab a buyer or seller's package. And then we'll just put it on your expenses probably. So those will be ready. I think they're being mailed out this week. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks.
Thank you.
That will be helpful. Otherwise, training is happening Wednesday. We talked about FINTRAC is going to do a webinar. So it's not in person, but it is online. I'll send out the link for that. Agent on duty at the Ajax office has started today. So if you would like to sign up for morning, afternoon, evening shifts to do agent on duty at the Ajax office, you can go in person to Salem and sign up on the calendar, or just email Laura. Right now we're just playing around with 3-hour shifts, but I think we're going to be switching it to 2-hour shifts because it might be too long for people. So we're going to give it a week and then we'll switch it over. What else? April 2nd. I know it's like a little month away, but Varan's team's going to be hosting economic, what is it called? Economic and housing forecast with Jean-Francois Earl.
We're so Scarborough.
The chief economist at Scotiabank. So I think it's a webinar, right? So if anyone wants to attend that, it's April 2nd online. There's a QR code, but I'll send an email out to you guys too to sign up for that. And then April 7th is awards. So I don't know if we've sent out save the dates officially.
Yeah,
maybe we have. So we'll be able to sign up for that as well. So there's a lot happening. And next week, Claire and Nelson are running the meeting.
Toi. For you or no? Something for you? I'll see my last one.
If anybody's interested, the stock markets today opened up after all the stuff on the weekend there. They opened up on a downslide, and then they actually recovered at noon. So basically, they're all within like 0.2%. So price of oil is apparently going to go up, so that'll affect gas, I guess. So, but the stock market seems to be taking everything in stride. So
That's good.
So we're going to be okay.
As long as you're invested in there.
So we're going to be okay. It's the question.
So we're gonna be fine.
Yeah, we're going to be fine. Last week, I gave you a heads up that we're going to make some small changes to our monthly fees and leasing fees. I know I said I will send out a memo last week, but I will do it this week. If you have any concerns or questions, just come to me or Claire directly about that. I'll send that out this week. Okay. Cool.
anybody have any properties you want to talk about?
I know we have a lot of listings. I can see them. So myself included. I mean, we just need to sell them. We just need to sell
We're
them.
embarrassed that they're not.
We need to get
selling.
price improvements. It's a nice time to just refresh your listings, change the photo. I don't know, do whatever you can then.
Do you have any buyers that you want to buy?
It's true.
We just can do some
I
matchmaking
still
right now.
say you list the loss. I still think listings are the name of the game, my friend.
Yeah,
You
100%.
know, if you've got listings, you're the king of the castle.
And I
If
think
you've got listings, you'll get buyer leads.
And they are coming this year. I mean, I forgot to tell you earlier, we're at 470 power of sales, which is actually less than last week. So even though everyone says they're coming, they're coming. I haven't seen the surge yet. There's 900 in all of Treb, but in our area is only 470. Sorry, it went up five from last week. So it's not crazy, but they're there. So
But Canadians are pretty conservative. Slime on that.
cool. Anything online? Any questions?
Nope.
Take us? Cool. Okay. Claire, you're good?
All done.
Okay. Have a good week, everybody. See you.
Very good.